Hello, hello. We're here with, I was gonna say roll 20. I don't know why.
Because you're
More,
looking at it.
I mean, it's not wrong.
yeah, yeah. Um, but more specifically, Anno Domini.
Hey.
Yeah, I have everybody in the right places. I just need to switch over to the type of overlay without Connor. There we go. Okay, cool. So we got Josh and Carly back, and but Connor is not with us today. He's at a hockey game.
Oh.
So, because basically what happened was he made plans when he didn't think we were going to do Anno Domini, and then he couldn't change his plans when we decided that we were. So, it's all good. I will figure out, like, either, I mean, it's really easy to get, I was going to say get rid of people in the Feywild, but I don't mean it like that. But I could also just play his character and just have him fight things. You know, that's probably what he'd do. So,
Because last time, having somebody play a character for somebody else.
are you ever gonna let that go?
You could have picked something so much better than you chose. Just
Wait,
saying.
what happened? I don't remember.
Are we referring to the same incident?
I bet you we are.
What incident are you referring to?
Till Ader into both the Void's Grace.
Okay.
The day
That
I was gone.
right. That technically wasn't the one I was thinking about.
Yeah,
But I
earlier
guess
just a
Well,
couple-
that incident, no. But that incident wasn't necessarily you.
I was
playing
gonna
a
say,
character.
yeah, exactly, yeah.
Out of a player character.
Yep.
And then proceeding to decide that you don't actually like them anymore.
That's not
You
what.
remove
Okay.
them.
All right. Yep. Anyway.
You killed them! And you butchered the accent when you were doing it!
Oh,
Can I let you live that now?
And so Donan is here to bring the accent back.
Hey, I'm not letting it die.
Yep. Speaking of accents, let's go do goals, shall we?
Great.
what?
It has nothing to do with goals whatsoever. Erastus Camber, what are your goals, sir? What do you want to do today?
Can you wait till I'm finished eating? Can you do something else first?
Of course, yes, I
Thanks.
can do that. Yep,
Sorry.
no problem. No, you're good. Donan McKentigern.
Hey, that's me.
Yeah, what you want to do, dude?
We came into the Feywild looking for children, right?
It's true.
Don't say it like that.
Yeah. It sounds like you went to find Fey children or something, and not save children from the mortal plane that had been kidnapped.
So the thing is, Fey are notorious baby snatchers, right? So anybody in context would know that Fey snatch babies, and that if we're going after children, we're probably going to rescue them from the baby snatchers. So really, y'all are going there, and I'm not.
Okay.
You're assuming
Sure.
that they have familiarity. Maybe they think we're the Fae.
See, in world, they would know that I'm a dwarf cleric, because it's pretty obvious.
If they're familiar, yeah. They might not be.
It's true, because if they're familiar, does that mean they're summoned from another world? That's a good question.
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
How does one spell Fey?
Fey.
Oh, like that.
Yep.
Okay.
At least in D&D. I know it's spelled different ways in different cultures, but
I'm working on a third goal, but my first goal is to find the missing children.
okay, of course.
Second goal is to escape the Feywild,
Okay. Yeah.
and I'm not positive what I want my third goal to be yet. Can I say defeat this session's minor objective?
So
Yeah, 'cause
given
we have no clue what's gonna happen.
right,
like-
so given what happened last session when you guys weren't there, maybe a goal would be disrupt the ritual. They learned that the Fae are attempting to do some sort of ritual with these children that they have.
Right. I mean, no, I'm not going to make that choice because you're going to argue that I did this find the children and disrupt the ritual was the same event, and I can only get XP for one of those.
No, finding the children and disrupting the ritual are two very separate things. You could find the
You can
children and not
find them,
disrupt the
but not-
ritual.
Yeah.
And you could, I don't know if you could
Why?
disrupt the ritual without finding the children, but, it's fine.
Okay. Did we ever get separated as a party? Or did we just get hand waved along with the rest of the group?
Well, we definitely weren't there, so.
No, yeah, we're gonna have an introduction. We're gonna have like a short scene where like you guys, what you've been doing in the Feywild since you've been lost, and then we'll introduce you guys back to the party.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. Because I guess I was not sure if it was gonna be a big enough goal to say reunite with the group or not.
You could do that
That's
if you want.
one of mine,
Yeah, you can do that. That just means that I, as the GM, have the responsibility of making it a challenge to reunite with the party. So,
All
you know.
right. At 8. I can deal with that.
Yeah.
So, 3 goals. Find the missing children, escape the Feywild, and reunite with the group.
Cool. Sounds good. Mr. Marmaduke Briggs.
Save the children. Reclaim my precious magical item, the Wand of Citrusy Polymerization, and escape the wilds.
Cool. Sounds good. Lisig les métiers.
I don't have mine up right now, but I believe mine are steal something, reunite with the party, and get back what was stolen from me.
Mm-hmm.
Your fourth one is to take a level in Rogue, right? I think was right. Just check.
Why? I don't know if that makes. Well, I guess you could probably have a goal to take a level in Rogue because you would have to do things to get XP to get there. But it's a little meta because you have to just accomplish
have a
other
goal
goals to
from
complete
now
that
on
goal.
That is just
Accomplish a goal.
stronger. And then, I'll have one goal that's get stronger, one goal that's accomplish a goal, and then one goal that is fight an enemy. So then every time I fight an enemy, I'll accomplish a
You'll
goal,
Stronger,
and then I'll get stronger.
But get stronger is not a well-defined goal. What you need to say is gain more than 10 XP.
Well, I think get stronger would mean like level up. That's
No.
the
Not strictly, because get stronger could be an ongoing goal, right? You don't ever achieve your I am now strong
That's
enough, right?
well. I mean, your
That's not the
stats
point of D&G.
increase.
D&D.
D&D.
Your stats
TNG.
Dungeons and Guns. Sorry.
I mean,
no,
if we play in this world long enough, it's
Yeah.
the real world. So
Every time we've played D&D, we've stopped before the guns were invented.
it's true. We could eventually do like Starfinder-esque stuff in this.
Why does everybody hop right over the period of time where guns are just a brand new invention and they're basically just giant copper tubes that people would lug around under an arm?
Yeah.
Because shooting and then reloading for 30 seconds and then shooting again is really boring.
But having a mechanic character that figures out the Gatling gun before Gatling did, that's exciting.
Yeah, exactly. But
I forgot. My charisma score is low.
I mean, yeah, it's 1492, so I think like guns possibly already exist. In the setting.
1400s, yes. I think there have been
But I mean,
a few
I
iterations of like
yeah, this is an alternate history,
blast
so.
stuff out of. China might have been using them for a little bit at this
Oh yeah,
point.
no, China's had gunpowder for like 2 centuries now.
That's right.
Oh,
I think they were using cannon before they were using like rifles.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
um,
Don't remember at what point cannons were a thing.
I don't remember
I don't know.
either. I'm pretty sure.
But
they were
also
the
this is
first
an alternate history where magic exists, so the impetus to discover and use gunpowder is less.
Sure.
Right. But for some reason, they
Magic,
still used bows and
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. So
Magic's
ooh,
gonna
it doesn't matter.
slow the progression of.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well,
discovery.
to be fair, the reason guns were effective was because they were basically nullifying armor, but so is magic. So
Mhm.
the thing is that it is a lot easier to pick up and learn to shoot a musket than it is to pick up and learn to shoot a spell.
Yes.
Because
At least in the lore of the world.
yeah, unless you're a sorcerer, in which case
Or a rogue and get
You're
used
lucky.
magic item.
Yeah.
that's true. To be fair, D&D 5 edition is like everyone has magic because magic. So
But there's also a bit of a lore thing where the players are technically pretty special because most people in the world don't have magic. It's just that we're the important people who tend to.
fair.
Yeah. But anyway, all that aside, Erastus Camber, what are your goals?
Yeah, I have find out why I've gained the warlock abilities,
Mhm.
escape the
Okay.
Feywilds, and find the stolen children.
Sure, of course.
I heard spy on the stolen children and was very confused.
For some
Spy
reason, I'm
on
having trouble
stolen
enunciating today. I think
It's
Or
okay.
rather, I heard spine the stolen children.
Spine.
Fine.
I mean, so yeah, my
Ugh.
real goal is to
Like,
go
Kill them.
to do the ritual for them,
Right.
tear out all of the children's spines, and then
Oh,
make an
man.
effigy to
Well,
the Fey gods. And
well.
yeah.
Okay. That got dark real quickly
You're
here.
welcome.
Turns out we are playing a session of Crow Inquisitors today.
Yep. Who knew?
Yep. Okay, cool.
Our
So-
play-by-post thing has made me really want to play that.
I know, dude. Seriously, I've also been kind of planning a Burning Wheel campaign with the Terranolius people for a little while now.
Nice.
So I've been thinking about
Awesome.
that a lot. It's gonna be like Phantom of the Opera-esque, where everyone's gonna be centered around an opera house and like be characters that are like. Doesn't that sound great, Josh?
That's pretty cool.
And there'll be some sort of weird thing happening in the opera house. It's gonna be great.
Nice.
But that's still probably years in the future. So. Anyway, so we get the Anno Domini opening credits, and I think we fade out from that, fade in on Donan and Leesig entering the Feywild, right? So we get the previously on, we see everybody jump in, and it's obvious that we're picking up directly after you guys have jumped into the Loam portal that leads to the Feywild. And so, just as a description of what I described to Erastus and Ulrich last time,
Didn't we do a tree combat, or was that before we jumped?
it was a tree combat. Yeah, that
Before we
was.
jumped in.
It was
Oh,
before
it's
you
before
jumped
we
into the
in.
portal.
Okay. Yep.
It was around the portal with the trees were. Yeah. But so imagine the entering of the portal and the traveling to the Feywild, a little bit like Matthew McConaughey going into the black hole portal thing, the time construct or whatever that was in Interstellar. So like,
Oh, the
It's-
worst movie ever. Yes.
you haven't seen it, yeah.
I haven't seen that.
Okay, well, never mind then. That won't help at all.
Don't worry,
Bas-
Carly, you're not missing anything. It's one of them. It's like my top 5 least favorite movies.
It's a great movie. Stop, Jared. Anyway, so
I thought we
basically,
established on Twitter last week that your taste in movies wasn't that great, Kip.
I think you established that in your own mind. You
Hey,
know,
Josh,
can
The
be
Fountain
wrong,
is
that's
a great
fine.
movie.
I think he's talking about. I think he's talking about Alita Battle Angel.
Oh, that's a great
That's-
movie.
That was what the description, or that was what the discussion on Twitter was about.
Yes, it was.
Josh,
uh,
have you seen it?
I haven't seen it yet.
It's so
I
good.
want to, but nobody lives up here to go see it with me. So
I'm sorry. If I liked it, I would go see it with you, but I didn't. So
oh,
sorry.
I see.
No, seriously. If I had enjoyed that movie, I probably would have gone up and saw it again. But I don't want to see that movie again. Anyway, basically, it's like the air is like distorting around you. You hear your breath ragged in your own throat, in your own ears, and it's almost as if your voice is like distorting, like it's like the audio peaking sort of a thing, and it's just darkness all around you. You don't really know what's going on, and then suddenly you just a bright light, and you just get dumped into the middle of a forest. It's big forest, huge trees, obviously mystical. It looks similar to the clearing that you were in before, but like obviously different. In important ways. So like the trees are bigger, the trees are weirder, and the air is thicker somehow. The sun is dimmer. The tree cover is heavier. Everything's a little bit more wild than it was. And yeah, you guys get dumped unceremoniously into the jungle, as it were, except just a forest.
Is it a mighty jungle?
Yes, and
One of
you
you
see
stands up, you're 2 feet taller than normal and have different skin color. You're Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah, and you see a lion. He's sleeping. It's the nighttime. Anyway, so yeah, it's just you two though, right? So Erastus and Ulrich are nowhere to be seen. It's just Donan and Leesig in the middle of the forest. What do you guys do?
I'd like to make a religion check.
Okay.
That the storm spirits have power here.
Oh, interesting. Okay, yeah.
That's smart.
So it's an interesting. The Feywild is interesting because I think that a lot of the like animistic spirits that you worship probably are actually kind of Feyish in origin. This is probably a bit familiar to you. I think the storm spirits, well, maybe not the most yeah, actually, so this is what you know, I think, Donan, specifically about the place that you're in right now, the specific place in the Feywild, because you know a little bit about, because your religion, I think, deals in Fey, a little bit. You know that you're in the Spring Court. Lord Oberon rules the Spring Court, and so the Feywild is basically a mirror image of our world. You can go anywhere on Threy, in this world, and it's just a Feyish version of whatever that place is. So you are in England still, it's just the Fey version of England, and the Fey version of England, Western Europe, basically is the Spring Court. And more than any other court, the Spring Court definitely has storm spirits that are predominant and very powerful. Lord Oberon himself probably has several lieutenants that are predominant storm fae of some sort. And so yes, for sure, the storm spirits have power here. More than any other fae court, for sure.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right.
Just a big forest around you.
You sent me 2 messages.
Yes.
Last session. Was the second message was the correct one, right?
I will message you again just to.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're all on the same page here.
Because.
Yep.
You sent me 2.
I did.
Conflicting messages.
I did. Yes.
Roll
Okay.
on the right tables, would you?
Yeah, and that will get more and more predominant. Yeah.
Josh, you have tables to roll on too?
Well, I rolled on a table, but yeah.
Oh.
I don't actually own a table.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So that's what happens. Donan and Lisig, what you gonna do?
Sorry, what happens?
You get dumped unceremoniously into the forest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought
Nothing
something
else
happened
has
that I
happened
missed.
now.
I mean, the first thing Lisig does is like swear in Druidic, so she just like says something that sounds weird and makes like a violent hand motion.
Yeah.
What was that last?
Nothing.
No,
Are you
no,
sure
that
she doesn't
sounded.
swear in Greek? I think that's it.
Yeah.
That sounded like a curse. Was that a curse?
Maybe. No,
Say
she
it again,
just
say it again.
says she refuses.
You're no fun.
Can I make oh whoops, I did not mean to do that. I guess I did make a history check. Can I wasn't very good. I was
Nope.
gonna say, could I make a history check to see if I learned anything specific about the Feywild, like just growing up around druids?
Yeah,
And, like,
yeah, of course.
hearing stories and stuff.
Yep.
I guess I didn't do very well, but
Yeah. I mean, I don't think you paid attention to those classes, right? Like, I think that's what that was. We get a short flashback of some like old druid halfling woman teaching you all about this, and Lisa is just like watching a butterfly like fly through the air, right? Yeah. You don't know. You know that some druids work for Fey, but most druids try to stay out of the Feywild's political machinations. Yep. Yeah, so you're separated from Erastus and Ulrich, so what do you want to do?
Well, we should probably look for them, or at least
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
get an idea of our
place
bearings.
to start.
Is there like a portal we came through?
You don't see, you have no idea.
We
Like,
just
you're just in a forest.
in this
Yeah.
spot. Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
I'd like to make a survival roll to see if I can like find any sign of them nearby.
Okay. Yeah, like look around, see if there's like tracks or something. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like any like trail or whatever that we can
Or,
find.
Of course.
Screams, etc.
I mean, yeah, but oh, dang.
Yeah. So Lisig,
That
I
one
think you.
wasn't bad.
Yeah, I think you find some tracks that I mean, you have a pretty good guess. Like you can't tell for sure, right? But I think you have a pretty good guess that this might be Erastus and Ulrich. So the thing that comes to your mind as a possible explanation is that maybe like there was just like a time difference or something. And probably Donan, when Lisa like shares this information, this is probably you who probably puts the 2 and 2 together here, because you know a bit about the Feywild. Like obviously that is definitely a thing that happens in the Feywild. Weird time dilations like are definitely a thing. And so it's likely that Erastus and Ulrich came out first and then have since left, and then you guys got spit out later than they did in the same spot. So. But yeah, it seems like Lisa has found tracks that may, be them, and you could follow them.
Cool.
Those starman cornflowers left without us.
Cornball.
Language!
Yeah, he's doing the socially acceptable version.
They left without us. We should track them down and bash in their skulls.
Whoa. Okay.
I mean, should just
PvP
follow
episode.
some tracks.
You're not at least curious of where we are? When we are?
I mean, don't we know that we're in the Feywild? Like.
Yeah.
You alright, David?
Talking to me?
No,
David's
David.
dying over there.
Sorry, I'm on Facebook and.
Oh.
That's all you were gonna get. I also think the word Facebook is pretty funny. He's just dying. David is just dead. Rip, David.
There's a baby in a high chair. And someone comes up with a little squirt cheese and just tosses it on his face. He has the funniest expression. Sorry.
David's amusement at that is what makes me laugh. Oh, that's funny.
I don't know why that was so funny.
Yeah, so you just want to follow the tracks? Okay.
I think Donan is kind of griping and mumbling under his breath the whole time.
Okay. Yeah, see, we see you kind of like start following the trail, and we get like a zoom out shot where we kind of like go through the tree canopy and then get like the forest, and it's just huge, and it's like, wow, okay, they might have some trouble finding their friends in this giant forest. And so yeah, we get that shot, and then let me make a quick secret roll here.
Well, it's not secret if you tell us about it.
Well, it's secret in the sense that you won't see what I'm rolling.
And, watch
Okay,
on
cool.
Twitch.
You could if you were a jerk face.
I want to participate in chat. I want to be there to help grow our community.
I mean, yeah, you can do that without watching the stream. You're in the stream, bro.
Just start believing in streams. You're in one.
Yeah. So what we get, right, is we get you're following these tracks for a while, and we see them kind of like backtrack, or I'm sorry, not backtrack. We see Donan and Lisig, follow the same trail that we saw Erastus and Ulrich follow the first time, right? So we see the same places that they were at. So the first thing they see is you come to like a pond of some sort. It's just this mystic looking pond. And there was obviously someone else here. And there's another set of tracks that comes here, and they leave with this person.
Other sets of tracks.
I mean, with the 20, make an investigation check, Lisig, if you're curious about all the tracks. There's a lot of tracks here.
I mean, I was just saying because there was.
No, I know.
Jared.
But
okay.
but one of him died is the thing. So
well, yeah.
right. And then disappeared. There's not a body.
Dang it.
Yeah, so you can't tell that. Yes, that happened. Yep. They when they met Marmaduke Briggs, he was completely naked and fighting himself.
Okay, that sounds like a Jared character.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. It was pretty Jared.
All right. Donan's interested in the water here. Is it
Okay.
special water? Is there anything specifically different about the water?
It looks very, very clear, right? Like untainted by the presence of people, and anything like that, right? So it's supernaturally clear almost, and has like a weird blue, like light bluish shimmer to it. Do you want to? Are you just like?
I want to know if it's safe to drink, and if it tastes good.
Okay, yeah, make an Arcana check
Medicine check.
or a medicine check. Yeah, that could work. Yeah. So it doesn't seem. I mean, through a medical analysis, it doesn't seem tainted or whatever. To know if it has magical qualities of any sort, that is an Arcana check.
I don't necessarily care about magical qualities. I want to know if it tastes good.
Yeah, it should taste good.
It's gonna
At least-
take a water skin's worth to make some liquor with at some point.
Oh, okay, yeah. So Lisa, you make an Arcana check to check it out. Is that what you're doing? Okay, yeah. So it's basically, yeah. I think there's a little bit of magic to this. It doesn't seem to be harmful at all. Let's see, random minor magic item generator. I'm gonna roll on something real quick. So your guess is, Lisig. Do you have detect magic as a thing?
I think I do.
I think you do, and I think you can cast it as a ritual, right?
I think Donan can get that too. Clerics can have detect magic as a ritual, I believe. I don't know if he does now or not, but
Detect magic?
yeah, I think that's a thing that you can do eventually. I don't know if you have that yet, but
I do have it. I didn't prepare it.
okay. Well, do you have to
No,
prepare
being me, I
ritual?
prepped to, like, keep y'all from dying.
Yeah.
Do you have to have a spell?
Yeah,
prepped
I have
to
it
cast as a
in.
ritual?
I believe I have it prepared.
I think I could maybe yeah, do I have to prepare it in order to cast it as a ritual?
Not that
Yes.
it matters
You
yet.
have to have it prepared to cast it as a ritual. Yeah.
Okay.
You can cast it without expending the spell slot, but you will have to have it prepared. Yeah. But yeah, Lisa, if you want to do that, I think you can find out a bunch about this. So basically, the water amplifies the emotion of joy. So basically, like, the more you drink it, the happier you get.
Donan has had a mouthful or so, and his mood's already noticeably improved.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, what I have, I don't know if this would be like in my like things that I have on me, but do I have like a flask of some sort?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay, then yeah, I just fill it up.
Sure. Yeah, fill yourself up with a happy juice and make your way away from the pond, I guess. Follow the track still.
Yep.
Okay, cool. So we see you continue to follow the tracks. It takes a while because it seems like the forest wants to try to just reclaim Even's footsteps as quickly as possible. And so there's a couple of points where you just kind of get a little bit lost, a little bit sidetracked. You have to backtrack, find the trail again, and then realize where they went. It's slow going, but you manage it. But there's one point where you're definitely really lost. And you're trying to backtrack right now to like go to the last point you found the trail. And you're just like, okay, I don't know where we are or whatever. And you end up stepping into a grove. You step into a grove, and you just see like there is it's just like a little I guess it's not a grove really. It's almost like just a small spot in like a small clearing where there's just a little bit of like sunlight poking in through the really thick canopy. And it's kind of shining on this one big tree. It just looks super old, super old tree. And it's just like, it's almost like it's just like standing in like sunlight and like being, it's very radiant, and it almost fills you with like wonder just looking at it. It's very, very like pretty and crazy looking.
I like trees.
Yeah, it's a cool looking tree. What do you do?
Make an Arcana check again.
Right. Want to make sure that the tree won't kill you if you walk up to it. It's unsure. I mean, you're in the Feywild, so likely everything is magic, but yeah, you're not sure.
Look for tracks.
Yeah, you could.
I think she should have advantage.
Why?
Because purple worms aren't very subtle.
This is not the same place.
Oh, it's
Jared.
not?
No.
History. Can I do a history check to see if I recognize the tree?
Sure.
From
Yeah.
the lore?
Yeah, Donan. I don't think you recognize it from lore, but you recognize it from the forest, from Sherwood. You've been in Sherwood several times. You've seen this tree before. It's definitely more. It's like everything about it has been emphasized in the Feywild, but it's the same tree for sure.
I know this tree.
In the real world, there's you always found it with a bunch of like weird trinkets and chimes all over it, but it seems like in the Feywild there's none of that.
Mm-hmm. As a cleric, would I have some idea of who's putting the fetishes on it?
Yeah, probably like not druids exactly, but like
Nature hippie people?
yeah, like gypsies probably, right?
Oh.
That sort of thing. Yeah.
Was it like some kind of a shrine-ish sacred?
It's
thing?
almost kind of like a folk charm sort of thing. Yeah, probably
Like
to
a
Fae.
lucky tree, kind of what's the
Yeah, so kind of a mix of both of those, right?
hang a fetish here, you get some luck from the Fae, kind of. a deal?
Exactly. It's that sort of thing. Yeah, for sure.
Do a
Okay.
what?
A little
Other kind of
a
fetish.
trinket, a flappy thing.
There's
Fae.
another.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the more sophisticated type
Exactly.
of fetish.
Well, that's probably why I didn't know it. To be fair, when I looked it up on Google, an inanimate object worshipped for its supposed magical powers is the second definition, not the first.
Well,
Yeah.
the second definition is the one I'm using in this particular case.
Yes.
And the second definition is the one that came first.
Stephen Erickson uses it like every 5 pages.
Uh-huh.
No, that's fine. I literally never heard that.
Really?
What's
Yeah.
it called?
Just check.
Malin's Handbook of the Fallen.
Malazan, yeah.
And so it's like I hate. It's the only word I can use for that sort of thing right now.
Oh yeah. Mhm.
Baubles, I suppose, works. But
Baubles,
baubles
trinkets,
That's
charms.
less
I was just curious.
religious in nature.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway.
Fetish has a very specific connotation to it, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. That's what you know.
Cool.
do you wanna
So
do?
Are there tracks and stuff around? Do we look for tracks and stuff around?
Well, so basically what happened was, I don't think Lisa has looked, but like you guys got lost and we're backtracking back to the first place or the last place that you had the trail, and you've kind of got really lost and then ended up in this little clearing.
Okay.
I mean,
But yeah, you're like
another check to like try to find them again.
Yeah, you can make a survival check.
I think Donan is really perky at having discovered this tree. And he's, Leasig, and he's getting in her face. He's getting in her way. I recognize this place. I've seen this tree before. It's like crazier and wilder, but it's like home in Sherwood.
Druid's just like, I've seen every tree in Sherwood before.
Yeah.
But like, I don't normally know trees from one another. They're all trees. This one's different. This one looks like home.
So racist.
I mean, I can tell the difference between a birch and a cedar. First of all,
So the
I don't think
different
there's birches and
That's totally not.
cedars.
I think both of those are North American trees.
Cedars are also Middle Eastern.
That's true, yeah.
Cedars
kind of
Lebanon.
hilarious. Yeah. It's
I
kind of
don't know.
hilarious.
All I
You
know
just
is
happened.
Northwoods tree,
I know, right?
oak, and I mean oak, I guess maybe, but like I know pine and I know birch.
What kind of trees are in England? Ash, aspen, beech.
I don't think I've ever.
Oh,
seen...
there are birch trees.
Oh, there
in-
are. Okay.
Yeah, there are UK native birch trees. Anyway, so yeah, Donan. I think on the very edge of your mind, you hear like a soft hum of music, almost like an old storyteller is just like starting to hum a tune, like to which he's gonna like tell a tale. Just on like the very edge of your mind, you just kind of get this like half feeling, half sound.
Mhm. I think
Did my
Donan's
survival
kind of.
check do anything?
Yeah, it's taking some time, but you might catch the trail. But you're kind of like looking around the clearing. Yeah.
I think Donan's kind of thumping around, kind of just skipping and enjoying himself in the clearing, trying to hum a tune he can't quite find.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
his mind, probably getting in Leesig's way, stepping on tracks, that kind of thing. Not being particularly helpful.
Yeah, and I think there's at one point maybe where you like stumble a little bit towards the tree more than you have been before, and you just hear like almost like an old man's voice. You hear, "Oh, hello there."
I think Donan just falls straight over in shock.
Yeah.
Did you suddenly grow a different voice and say something over there, Leesig?
No.
Did you hear that?
No, you didn't, Lisa.
No. What did you hear?
A voice. Am I going crazy?
Probably.
He looks like it. He definitely looks like it.
Am I going crazy?
Giant grin on his face, and this guy's generally not a fun person to be around. You can tolerate him to work with, but overall, he's grumpy and, acquired taste of a person for sure. So the fact that he's jovial at all right now is out of character.
Yeah, Donan, I think you hear, I don't think you're crazy, young master.
Well, that's good. Because if the voice in my head was telling me I'm crazy, then I'd be definitely crazy.
I don't know if that's how that works exactly. Tell me, son, what is your name?
Donan McKentigern! And it's pronounced Donan, not Dunin. Because the people who pronounce it Dunin don't really know what they're doing.
Ah, I see. Are you a dwarf, then? Sounds like a very dwarven name to me.
I'm a dwarf. What of it?
Oh, nothing at all. I just haven't seen a dwarf in quite some time.
Well, you might want to look down a little bit more then.
It's a little difficult when I'm so tall. Sometimes all I can see are the clouds. I can't see the trees, or the forest for the trees, as they say.
Is Donan replying loud
Is
enough
this-
for Lisa
Oh,
to hear?
he's just
Okay, yeah, that's
What
what I
now?
figured.
He's talking to someone that you're not hearing the response
looking in
to.
the air. Insight. Can Donan tell that this is not actually a voice in his head, but is being put there by something else?
I mean, it seems like it's coming in a direction, and the direction is towards the tree. Like it's as like it's a voice.
He's probably a tree.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's a
Donan's
super
int
big
is
leap.
10, so
Yeah, I don't think it's a super big leap of logic to think
Okay.
that it might be coming from the magical tree. You know.
I think that as he's been talking, he's been kind of turning in a bit of a circle.
Yeah.
I can kind of sense it. Oh, it is coming from the tree. So,
Yeah.
you're not in my head after all. I'm talking to a tree?
Well, technically, I am in your head in one sense, given that I am using telepathy to talk to you, but I am not physically in your head, no, since I am over here.
I must be insane if I'm talking to a tree.
Oh, I've found many trees to be fascinating conversationalists. Nothing crazy about talking to them.
But you're a tree, and trees can talk to other trees, and people talk to other people, but we don't talk to trees, and trees don't talk to people.
Well, the lines are a little blurred here in the Feywild, didn't you know, Donan?
I think everything's a little blurred around here.
That may just be because you're a little drunk. You seem like it. Another dwarven thing, I guess?
I don't recall drinking anything intoxicating.
Ah,
Just
well,
some water.
see, even breathing in this place can be a little intoxicating. I should know. I've lived here for a long, long time.
You know, I think you're right.
Out of, like, having only the context of, like, just what Donan is saying, it's hilarious.
Yeah, I think Lisa like walks up to him and she just kind of stares at him for a little while, like watching him like converse with himself. And
Are you, like,
and
right next
she's
to
like-
him?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you hear, "Oh, hello there, young
Lisa,
maiden."
Lisa, do me a favor. Stand on one foot and then walk in a straight line.
Ah, yes, I would like to see this too. That sounds like fun.
Is that like an athletics check?
Acrobatics, I think, yeah.
Okay. I mean, yeah. She's just like anything to get him to be like not super.
She's just gonna go along with it.
I mean, yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
Lacey just like looks at you, just like, okay. Yeah, you do it, fine.
Cool.
Hmm.
I'm not.
You
You're
don't
drunk.
seem drunk.
You
I'm
do.
not sure that's right. Should she be drunk?
I don't really know about drunk. I'm a tree.
You're right. You don't know about drunk. You know about trunk.
Ah, yes.
Lisa getting drunk.
Such a jest. And now, Lisa, you're hearing all of this.
Okay. I always have to like think of what she would say to stuff because I'm not like I don't know her character well enough yet.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's what
It's not
Connor's
to
been doing
learn
too.
the character and then play it. The key is to play the character and then learn it.
Yeah, just say something, and then you just you really you're like, well, I guess that's what she's like.
You kind of feel it out. Okay, are they gonna go for a joke? Go for the joke. If they're not gonna go for the joke, then I don't know. My most successful characters tend to be human.
Tend to go for the joke.
If they don't go for the joke, they go for the jugular.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty true.
Can I make a history check to see if I've known of talking trees before?
Yeah, sure. I mean, yeah, you're a druid. You might have come across a talking tree.
Yeah. 20.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you
Yeah,
know of
okay.
plenty of like
So I'm not freaked out.
No, yeah, you've definitely known like sentient plants before.
Cool.
So it all just kind of makes sense. You're just like, oh, okay, he's
Yeah.
just been talking to the tree. This is fine then.
Yeah.
Did you say anything to vindicate Donan that he's not crazy? Or does he still think that you think he's crazy?
I think she's just like, oh, so you're talking to the tree.
I am talking to the tree. Who do you think I was talking to? A voice in my head?
Yes.
I mean, technically both of those statements are true.
Now that's perplexing.
Say, what brings you to this forest? To the Feywild in general, I suppose. You're mortals, after all.
I resent that assumption, but unfortunately it's true. We're looking for friends of ours. They wandered off, and I think I was mad at them for something, but I don't remember what.
Sometimes we can get a little insane when we're angry. I feel like that's the time that most people get a little crazy, is when their emotions get the best of them.
I never let my emotions get the best of me.
Ah, yes, I can tell.
What's that supposed to mean?
Exactly what I said it meant. I'm sorry. That sentence didn't make much sense.
You're darn right it didn't.
Anyway, you're looking for friends.
I
Maybe I can be of assistance.
can't remember how to describe them. I don't remember what the characters look like.
What?
I'm trying to come up with a description for characters, but
If you turn your eyes to the roll 20,
right.
that's Erastus. And this is
Palish
Ulrich.
bloke and a adventurer, magician, bookworm. Aye, we'll go with that.
I regret to say that I haven't seen any people of those descriptions. I haven't seen any mortals around nearby at all, actually.
Well, we've gone and lost the trail then. Have any of your tree buddies seen him?
I may be able to ask them. It may take some time, though trees can be very...
Very what?
slow.
Oh. You don't say.
I did say. And then, like, there's just silence.
I mean, I guess Jonah was kind of expecting him to just go and ask the other
No,
tree.
no, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
there is silence because he doesn't say anything else. And so there's just a long minute that passes. What do you do?
I think Donan listens to try to see if he can hear the trees talking to one another.
Okay.
And also see if he can recognize what that music is still playing in his head.
Yeah, sure. I want to make a perception check, I guess. You're in the Feywild, so this might work.
Perception, right.
Yeah. I think you hear, it doesn't sound like talking to you, but it sounds like you can definitely tell that the trees are like swaying and they're like wood is groaning, and like it's very similar to like the scene in Lord of the Rings where like you just like kind of hear the trees all just kind of like shifting. But yeah, the song, Donan, it's gone away. I think you just noticed now that it went away. Because you were talking to the tree and stuff. And maybe it was going in your own mind, but then you realize that it's just your own mind now that was kind of humming it, and it's disappeared.
Okay.
But yeah, I think a long minute passes and then says, the tree says, I'm sorry. I'm not very persuasive. These younger trees don't appreciate their elders, it seems. I'm not sure that I can help here. I apologize. Maybe if you talk to them, they might listen.
But I can't talk to trees, because trees don't talk to people.
Well then what do you call the conversation that we're having right now?
Hallucinations of an intoxicated dwarf.
If only that were true.
Leasing shakes her head and she's like, no, don't end. These trees are talking to us.
You're not crazy, buddy. It's true.
Donan wants to make a medicine check to see if he can determine if Leasig is drunk.
Okay, yeah, sure. Are we both on a trip? Yeah. It's hard to say. Yeah, hard to say, dude.
Out of character question.
Mm-hmm.
These trees seem to have silent speech, which
Yes.
I have. Okay, cool. So does that mean that I could silent speech with the tree?
Mhm.
Cool.
Isn't silent speech just sign language?
No.
No.
It's actually a different thing. She has
It's
3
sending a
different ways of
message
talking to
into
people.
minds.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say the trees are like sign language.
Yeah, don't you? That's why I'm describing. They're slaying. It just takes a very long time for them to form the intricate gestures. Yeah, I mean, I think are you gonna like talk to the tree through silent
No,
speech?
I just wanted to make sure that was something I could do.
Right. Okay. Yeah, and I think like he says, I suppose not all of the trees have the way that I have of communicating. Some of them are more feral than I. He seems to be like thinking like, I don't know how to do this.
So I guess Leasing silent speeches with the tree and was
Uh-huh.
like, I can do this.
Yeah. So you just want to talk to the trees around you, basically?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, what do you want to say?
Just we're looking for our friends. Big blue guy and knight in shining armor. They're somewhere in here, and if you see them, let us know.
Wait, you
Okay.
described me twice though.
Yeah, make a persuasion check, Leasig. Yeah, okay. I think for sure you get like it takes a little while, but you get some like whispered conversation back. It seems like the trees have been like from a long distance off. I think we get a shot of Erastus, Marmaduke, and Ulrich like walking through the forest, and then we hear one of the trees whisper, and then he whispers to the tree next to them, and then we start getting like a backtrack like as the trees like whisper to each other, and then like it gets back to you guys. And then the elder tree says, it seems that they are about a mile or two to the northwest of here.
Thank you.
I believe that the trees can guide you there, if you wish.
That would be helpful.
Yeah. And I think he says, and you hear a lilt of sadness in his voice, you hear, I suppose you'll be leaving, then?
I believe in you.
And yeah, I think
Peaceful here at least.
yes, I thought so myself.
You'll be with other trees. You'll be happy with company and stuff.
If only that were the case, young master. I'm dying, you see. I believe that today is the last day that I will have. See, I am intricately tied to the tree in the material world, and unfortunately, the tree was struck down by lightning. I'm fading away.
Oh my word, Donan is conflicted. Lightning, you say?
Yes.
Did you do something to deserve it?
Deserve? I don't think there's any deserving in a case such as this. It is just the way of the world. Things happen. I am an old tree anyway. I've lived my time. I will be sad about all of the charms and trinkets that were left for me. It made me happy to help those wanderers.
I'll remember to bring a charm to the stump, if that'll help you feel better.
Well, I'll be dead by then, so I won't have any emotions to feel, I'm afraid.
I think it'll help me feel better.
Well, I wouldn't want you to be sad, would I?
That's a little late for that.
Donan, would you tell me a story?
A story?
Yes, that was when the gypsies and the wanderers left their trinkets. They used to tell me stories. It would help me sleep in the cold nights. Would you tell me a story as I drift into the last cold night I think I will ever have?
I can tell you a story. Once, there was a young man. Being a man, he was tall, strong, and clever. And he loved the sea. He spent all the time he could on ships, sailing, making a living. And one day there was a great storm.
And as you're telling the story, Donan, we start hearing the song that was being hummed earlier, and it starts to come back up into the soundtrack, and it's obvious that the tree is humming along with you, as if kind of like bringing a soundtrack to your story.
Mm-hmm. And as the waves rolled and tossed, this young man, he heard a call from the rigging above. His brother had slipped and was hanging by his ankle from the sheets. He couldn't free himself. And so the young sailor, he rushes up into the rigging, heedless of the captain's warnings. He cuts his brother free and helps him down onto the deck. Just as he gets his brother attached safely to the lines, the sheet that he had cut snapped and flung a piece of the gunwale right at his legs, bowled him over and broke his knee. The poor young man was laid up for months, never able to walk right again, and he feared he'd never see the sea. But his brother didn't give up on him. He encouraged him and worked with him. He tried to get him to believe again and to be excited about the sea, but it just wasn't the same. And so one day this brother, he says, all right, I'm going to go get a job on the sea. I'm going to be a sailor, and you're coming with me. You're going to be a cook. You're going to be the best cook, and you're going to enjoy the sea again. And so the brothers, they embark on another voyage. And in their travels, they encountered a god. And that god, he saw this young man's passion for the sea, and he healed his leg and made him whole again. And from that day, the young man worshipped the sea and the god. And then, you know, he got involved in temple politics and stuff.
I feel like Donan should get inspiration for that.
Yes! Please take inspiration. Is that the end of the story? Or... Okay. Okay, yeah, this is definitely a true story, like some folk tale in this world. The story of the two brothers and the Populate. Oh man, good stuff. Yep. And I think like we hear basically what happened is I think the song had faded out right before you said that last line, right? So we just have complete silence, and then we just hear Donan say, and then you got involved in temple politics and stuff. And then you can tell that the tree is dead. Like the tree has died and it's gone.
Donan kind of stands there for a minute. His hand on the bowl of the tree. He just kind of cries a bit. Then he just falls to his knees and he bursts into tears and he's weeping uncontrollably.
Oh no, Donan. Yeah.
Lisa just does like a druidic sign of respect.
Do. Anyway.
Isn't that this? Not this?
I didn't remember how to do it. And I also didn't whistle. I tried and it just didn't work.
Oh, Caleb.
Mm-hmm. Yep, this is me. Yep, I just ruin everything. Anyway, so yeah, we get that scene. And Donan, I think the last thing that happens is as you kind of like your storm of tears starts to fade, you kind of like lift yourself up to your feet and you're like, okay, we should probably get going now. You notice something at your feet, like where you had been crying, like the grass like dampened with your tears. You see where you're pretty sure it wasn't there before. You see one tiny little acorn. Yeah.
I think, is it just like it had fallen from something and was sitting there?
Yeah, it's kind of sitting there.
I think Donan's gonna pick it up and take it with him.
Sure. Yeah, and so that's where our scene ends, and we go off into the forest, and then we see you guys led by the trees find your way to Erastus and Ulrich and Marmaduke. And let's go ahead and take our first break there, and we'll come back and we'll reunite with everybody, and we'll figure out what's next for our party. More Feywild, more wild emotions, I'm sure, and not as many ancient elderly trees that love stories, unfortunately. But, such is life. All right, we'll be right back with more Anno Domini right after this. Stick around.